everyone. Welcome to another edition of RecruitMilitary Live, a continuing series of live broadcasts covering all things military transition, veteran employment, mil-spouse employment, and much more. My name is Lucas Connolly, retired U.S. Army officer and former TAP program manager, here to share with you the ins and outs of navigating the waters of civilian employment. If you are in search of meaningful employment, then you're in the right place. Please visit rmvets.com/live to learn more. Okay, let's roll. Are you getting ready to retire or transition out of the military? Are you looking to take your career in a different direction, but you're not sure how? Could you maybe use a little advice from an experienced professional in the field you're going into? If you answered yes, then you're in the right place. Don't touch that mouse. Today's topic is the value of mentorship. We've got two guests today, two for the price of one. The first is coming to us from West Point, New York, just a couple of hours downstate from me. She's the vice president of military engagement for American Corporate Partners and has been working to assist transitioning service members and military spouses in developing post-military careers for over a decade. As a military spouse herself of 25 years, she understands the unique challenges of being a military spouse and is passionate about empowering others to find and grow great careers. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Ms. Leslie Coffey. Hey, Leslie.
Hey, Lucas. How are you?
I'm great, and I'm glad you could be here. This is long overdue.
That's right. Thank you so much for the opportunity. We're really excited today. Going to be talking about my love labor.
All right. Now, we've got, like I said, 2 for 1 today. Coming to us from lovely Columbus, Georgia. Our second guest is an accomplished senior military professional with over 24 years of comprehensive and demonstrated leadership experience in recognizing the value of human capital, cross-functional team membership, and building cultures that encourage empowerment and the will to thrive. I should also mention that he is a retired infantry first sergeant with multiple combat tours under his belt. He's currently the manager of military engagement at American Corporate Partners. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Eric Brew.
Wow. I don't know who wrote that, but I love it. That was a great intro. I feel like I should have had WWE music behind me or something.
Right? We were going to do, the walk-on, if you could figure out how to get it on the screen, come out to the Sound of American Badass or something. But
man, thanks for having me, brother.
It's great to have you on the show. Now that y'all out there in internet land know who we are, we'd like to hear who you are. Hit us up in the chat window. Let us know where you're watching from. Who are you with? What's your status? Are you a vet? Are you transitioning? Are you a mil-spouse, a caregiver, or something else maybe we haven't thought of? Either way, welcome to the show, and let's hear from you. If you've got questions, comments, issues of concern, pop those into the chat window, and let's discuss. All right, folks, we are wheels up. Don't worry, Eric. We won't be doing racetracks for too long.
I was getting a little nervous. I was like, man, we're going wheels up. I didn't know we were doing EDRI. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. The first amazing question that we're going to get after is mentorship. In the course of my military career, I heard people say, I spoke with my mentor. And I was always thinking, where are these? Is there a mentor store somewhere I'm supposed to swing by and pick one of these up? I mean, what does that even mean? And what value is it for a veteran or a mil-spouse? Leslie, let's start with you.
Okay, so it's pretty easy. I'll take the mil-spouse side of the house, and then Eric can speak on, with recently transitioned his side of the house. So
perfect. As
a mil-spouse, what that means to me is for so long, I didn't have my own professional identity. I had, I was so-and-so's spouse, or a mother of 4, I was so-and-so's mom. I was a taxi cab driver, right? All these sports all over the place. And that was my identity. A mentor is somebody that really pours into you and is interested in seeing your success in your journey. So giving you permission to focus on you. And really just providing lots of wisdom and guidance, depending on your journey, right? Depending on what you want to pursue. So oftentimes as a mil-spouse, you might have gaps in your employment, or, your resume might be all over the map because you're just taking whatever you can. In this situation, a mentor can help you to tailor that and pull out relevant experience and address the gaps into something that a hiring manager would be interested in speaking to you about.
Awesome. Eric, your thoughts?
So I love how closely and how nested my answer is with Leslie's, because as a military person, right, as a senior NCO, 25 years in the military, I poured a lot into the mission and my soldiers, right? And I think we all do. We pour into our service members, we pour into the team. We're all about team and mission, and we get mission accomplished, and we do all of this, and it's go. And then when we hit transition, it becomes a lot of I don't know what I don't know. Mm-hmm. Wait a minute. Now I'm not the one with the answers. I mean, I'll tell you, as a first sergeant, hearing first sergeant say I don't know is probably that's not a good thing. Like, that's not the right answer, right? But having a mentor as I'm making the transition, as I'm moving into something I've never done before, as I'm moving into something in a stage of life I've never been before, having someone to pour into me, like Leslie said, having someone to provide some perspective and some insight into an industry or a profession that I want to go to. I think that sounds good. I really want to do that. But having a mentor to say, hey, look, here's an industry. I've been in the industry for 10 or 15 years. It's no different than, Lucas, when you were a young officer, or when I was a young enlisted person, and we found that old crusty person who'd been in the industry for a while, right?
Yep.
We asked them questions. You asked your squad leader questions. You asked your commander questions. That's what a mentor does. They're the old crusty now, right? And not all of them are old and crusty. Please, as our mentors are listening, I'm not calling you old and crusty, right? But in the industry, you've been around a little longer. You're a little longer in the tooth. You've got some experience I don't have. I have to gain that. I have to glean that information. And that's, to me, man, that's where a mentor just becomes invaluable.
See, I find it hard to believe, Eric, that you would ever say as a first sergeant, I don't know. I think if you looked I don't know up in the first sergeant dictionary right next to it would say, I have to go talk to Sergeant Major about that.
Yeah, it would probably end with you're fired.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And mentorship experiences are a little different for junior officers. I think when I was a second and a first lieutenant, the only mentorship I got was go over there, try not to break or lose anything. And then you get promoted to captain. They say, congratulations, you're the commander. What do you need us to do? And we go, what? Last year you told me to stand over there and not break anything. Now I'm in charge. So yeah, I mean, transitions of all stripes need mentorship, and that's just one humorous example.
Yeah.
Let's see. So let's talk about what ACP is doing here now. American Corporate Partners are doing great things, connecting interested individuals in the corporate sector to help educate and mentor folks that are entering the job market. And there's a lot. Hey, I don't know. Truth be told, looking at the civilian job market from a military perspective, it's a great, big, mysterious world out there. Mm-hmm. It's like an Army guy trying to understand Navy ranks.
Yep.
It's a foreign language. I still don't know what a comptroller does. I know people that are comptrollers. I have no idea what they do for a living. I couldn't explain it. So how does ACP address this mission, especially the human connection? And how do they attack that? How do they make the personal connection?
Yeah, so what we are is we offer a one-to-one customized mentorship. So it's not, one mentor to 10 or 15 or 20 proteges, right? It's one-to-one based specifically on their journey, their goals, and their interests. Where the human aspect comes in is part of our pairing process. We actually have a staff. We have a staff of nearly 60. That handles all of this, and they do diligent research to try to find who's the best fit. But the human element comes into, we're not just interested in your career goals, but also, your hobbies, your interests, because what we found is if we can pair you on some of those commonalities, then that relationship, that human connection you're talking about, that really develops over the course of a year, because our mentorships, not only are they customized, but they last for a year. So it's somebody that you really want to develop. And I'm still in touch with my mentor 3 years later. So you can really, the foundation of that relationship, that bond can really be there and grow over the course of a year.
And it looks like we've got, I'm sorry, Eric, looks like we've got Valerie LaRocque here. Looks like you've just connected her just recently with a mentor. So
I love it.
Put one in the win column. Eric, your thoughts?
I love it. No, I just kind of want to tag team off what Leslie just said. This humanizing, this human connection thing, the human condition thing. That's a big deal, right? Because when we're in the uniform, sometimes that gets lost. It shouldn't, but sometimes it gets lost. That identity of self and that identity of who Eric is as opposed to who First Sergeant Brew is, right? It's so. a lot of times that self-identity, it gets lost. It gets shoved in the back of the closet. And then as we start to get towards transition, the uniform goes to the back of the closet, right? And that identity starts rushing up, and now we don't know. And so when you interact with a mentor, when you start to build and cultivate and grow a relationship with someone, and it's somebody who doesn't speak Army, right? It's somebody who doesn't speak that language. So you have to adjust how you speak because you're speaking to somebody who doesn't understand what you're saying anyway. So you've got to start working that relationship, and you've got to start building your network and using this. And I love the way Leslie explains our customizable. And I'm going to say it, Leslie, because I know you didn't, but this isn't Match.com, right? This isn't an AI, right? This isn't Farmers Only. This is one of our staff members sitting down and having a conversation with you that says, what are your interests? What do you want to do? And we have a real person-to-person conversation. And then they dig through thousands of mentors to find something that looks like, smells like, could be a good fit. And then they present the mentor to you. You're not just assigned a mentor, right? This isn't like when you became a company commander and you were assigned a first sergeant, right? This is an offer. Here is the background on the mentor that we're offering you. When I first became a protege and I was offered my first mentor, I denied them. Not because I thought they were bad people, not because their background looked sketch, not because of anything, just because I got kind of a feeling that I didn't feel like we meshed. And so I told our operations associate that, this one doesn't feel right. She then presented me with two more. I denied one and accepted the other. This is about us. This is about the transitioning service member or the military spouse or the veteran who needs the mentorship. How do we best set that up?
Why do I have this vision of Eric trying to find a mentor? Nope. Nope. Hold. This will do.
Well, the customization, I was very fortunate that I landed through the roof. I had my own personal Forbes coach, and her face has been on Times Square. So I couldn't wait to talk to mine. I was like, tomorrow. But, we do such a diligent research because we do want to find that right fit. And so we also had 97% would refer us to another veteran or spouse. So we want to maintain that satisfaction, right? And it all starts with you and your journey. Eric, to be quite transparent, was like, I'm the new guy. I don't know if I want to start off on the wrong foot. And I'm like, no, this is about you and your journey. That's what all of our staff is about. And so I'm like, they should light a fire in your belly, which is exactly what mine did. Somebody that just invigorates you. You're going to gain so much from them. So you can't wait to hop on a call. And I can tell you, I get advance notice when Eric's about to chat with his, and he's just like, yes, it's mentor day. And that's how it should
awesome. Feel. And it's something that I communicated to a lot of service members when they were getting out, because especially the more senior folks who have been mission focused for so long.
Yeah.
And I say, look, you got to think of it as in terms of advocacy. When you went to the recruiter's office, you had somebody that wanted to see you ship. He was your advocate. When you went to basic and AIT down in Benning, they wanted to see you succeed. Even if they're screaming in your face, they still want to see you succeed. Your first unit, your team leader wants to see you max your PT test. Your squad leader wants to see you, shoot expert down in the range. Your company commander wants all of you to be successful. Nobody wants the soldier, sailor, airman, marine, or guardian to fail. But then you hit transition. Who's your advocate then?
Right.
And it's not the people that are behind you in your career progression. It's the people in front of you. But that looks like a big, open, empty space.
Yeah, it's in the Army's song, Lucas. The Army goes rolling along.
It sure does.
Right? They're going to keep rolling. The military's a forward-focused organism. It's got to keep moving forward.
So now let's get down to brass tacks. We're talking about employment, because when Uncle Sam stops paying me, somebody else has to, because I've got bills to pay.
Facts.
I got kids. They keep growing and they keep eating, and they're doing more of it every day. How's a mentor going to help me nail a job?
Oh, yes. So of course, we can both speak on this. We will. But, my mentor, let's just talk personal. My mentor was instrumental with career exploration, helping to figure out the right path for me. And then, of course, being a Forbes coach, she could help me to prep for interviews, mock interviews, help me with my resume, but salary negotiation. the templates, the tools, the words to use. As a military spouse at the time who was in the Mojave Desert, and that was long before remote work was a thing, not necessarily a lot of opportunities there. She helped me with a 67% increase in pay. So you can imagine what that did for my family, right?
A few bucks.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll let Eric talk on, for the veteran side.
Well, I mean, I think we touched on it, kind of throughout this whole talk, Lucas. It's, a lot of this is I don't know what I don't know, right? That's transition. It's what do I want to do when I grow up, right?
Yeah.
I'm leaving a profession that I've known for 4 years or 34 years, but it really doesn't have the length of service. It's been my identity. And let's be honest, I mean, when we're talking about men specifically, and I can only speak as a man, right? A lot of times we identify with what we do. Now, if you throw service members in there, then it's men and women because you become a part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Yes.
Right. So your identity is wrapped up in this selfless service and this, this mission focus and soldier focus or sailor focus. So it's what do I want to do when I grow up? What does my next move look like as compared to this great career I've just had? I've got all these lickies and chewies and, stuff on the wall that remind me of this great career I had, this how blessed I was to be able to serve. What do I do next, man? How do I top that? Right? What do I want to do? And then when I figure that out, hold on, wait a minute. I've been writing NCOERs for a long time. I know how to talk Army. Mm-hmm. But how do I take that and translate it into this language we call civilianese on a resume?
Right.
93% of the country have never worn a uniform. We're part of a small cool kids club, right? 7%, a little over 7% of the country. Yeah, no big deal, right? But that also means that we're trying to speak to the majority of the population that does not speak what we speak. They don't know our jargon. As somebody who's helped service members across the gamut from different branches, I'll tell you how hard it is to read, a fit rep from the Marine Corps as a guy who served.
Yeah.
Right.
In different branches. And you can't even tell people too, look, it's the small percentage of people that have served in uniform. If you do go in there and you're lucky enough to have a HR director with a military experience at all, he might have been a Navy guy. He might have been a Marine. He has no idea what you did for a living. And as far as that identifying self so strongly with profession, how weird would it be if you look at the back window of somebody's Ford F-150 and there was a black and gold tab that said project manager? You're not going to see it.
Yeah.
And it says Acura Investments and project manager across the top.
Yeah.
The guy jumps out with a project manager T-shirt on. He's got a project manager hat. He's got a project management PMP tattooed on his arm. You'd look at him and go, there's something seriously wrong with this human being.
Proud parent of a Lean Six Sigma graduate, right?
Right. Half my certifications are in Iraq.
That was the next one that I was going to go with, man. That's great.
You got to get ahead of me on this, Eric.
Yeah. No, and that's what it's all about, man. It's these mentors. These are industry professionals.
Right.
Lucas, you and I have known each other for a while, man. I've coached and mentored a whole bunch of people since I retired. And I've really tried to get in the ring and help people out. But I can coach people about what it's like to transition. I can talk to people about, some of the broad stroke, the wave tops. But do you know how impressive a human being I would be if I was an industry professional in every industry in America?
Right. Not going to happen.
I'm not. I can't teach you how to be
in school.
Yeah, I can't teach me how to be an investment banker or how to be, a project manager for Amazon or I can't do that. I've never been in that role, so I'm not going to speak ignorantly or out of place. But our mentors are. There's over 100 Fortune 500 companies that send us mentors that provide mentors.
And relevant and up to date because
you're
a subject matter expert on all those things.
Yeah.
Not staying fresh in the industry means your experience is stale.
It's stagnant. Absolutely
irrelevant. Yeah. So, what are some of the successes you've seen with some of the folks that have worked with you, who have worked with, found the right mentor, and then pressed forward in their career? So you're getting great results. Are they nailing the good jobs they want, getting the salaries that they're looking for?
Yeah. So, of the 23,000 have come through, our most recent survey, when we went through and verified those 1,300 companies that hired our proteges last year, which that list is on our website, acp-usa.org, if you ever want to look. Those that come through, 86,000 is the average starting salary, 86,000. And what really warms my heart is that 37% of those do not even have a 4-year degree.
Yeah.
So, Lucas, the business you're in, they wouldn't make it through the applicant tracking system, wouldn't make it to a hiring manager without that piece of paper, unless somebody's opened the door for them, unless somebody's introducing them, expanding their network, talking to other colleagues. There's zero chance. But with 37% not having a degree, we still have the average starting salary of $86,000.
And it looks like James Hill here. I'm enjoying my ACP mentorship. I got the job. There's success for you in real time, live from the
Yes.
All right, let's
And
go.
I'll tell you,
Jim, that a way to do it.
First of all, James, your success, not ours. Congratulations, brother. We're proud of you, right? We're proud of you. But here's the thing, man. And this is, we can talk salary. We can talk all these things. Here's what I love. The Department of Labor tells us that 44% of us are going to have a second or a third job inside our first year post-military.
Oh, yeah.
That's terrifying. In that same survey, Leslie's talking about what we learned is that a protege who completes the 1-year mentorship with an industry professional, we are at an 86% retention rate.
Wow.
That's staggering. I look at it and I'm like, wow, that's where we're making a difference, right? Because that 86%, those are people first and foremost, right? The ROI for American corporate partners is always going to be people, yes. Right? So it's people. Those are souls. Those are human beings that are in a better place. On top of that, Leslie will test. Those are families, right? Those are children and spouses who aren't looking at dad or mom going, "Ooh, you are really stressed out. Wow, you're really struggling, and we're struggling because those when you look at 86% retention rate, that's a year's worth of people that are breathing, right? We all learn how to survive. Spouses, service members, it doesn't matter. This community, we know how to survive. We can survive anything. Thriving, that's something different. And I think that's what that 86% speaks to. It speaks to the thriving, right? It speaks to the being out and now accomplishing something that's real success. That's real effect.
And if I can piggyback on that, for somebody that's super ancient, been in transition for a minute, what that tells me is they didn't have to transition twice.
Yeah.
And of course, Eric and I would love to take all the credit, and the staff has a lot to do with it, but it's the mentor helped them to get the right career fit, like path, the right level. That's really important, and culture.
Yes.
That's why only 14% have left in a year. 86% still there a year later. It's because they have that trifecta of the right path, the right culture, and the right level. The mentor helped them get there, not us.
The culture fit is a huge thing.
Agreed.
I really believe, and that is very difficult to gauge because you just don't know what the culture of an organization is sometimes until you get in there. And I think that's where we see a lot of transition in service members, going on to second job after 12 to 14 or 24 months. And some folks will go in and they leave in the first week, like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? So hopefully mentors can steer them in that direction and let them know, this is what the job looks like on a paper. But let me tell you from my industry experience, what that job really entails and what those work hours are and what that work-life balance is and what that commitment is.
Right.
That's a great point. Man, that's a good point. I love it.
You're just not going to see that in the job description. So we've heard some feedback here from some of your clients. I'm glad they came in.
Awesome.
Can you give us some other? Yeah. Oh, and I guess somebody wants to start a bumper sticker line there. So Eric, let me get with you offline, and we'll start coming up with those PowerPoint tabs. And
Ryan, I'm down, dude. Let's do it. Let's go. Hit me up on LinkedIn, bro. Let's get busy.
All right. Small business opportunity. We'll have to get an SBA rep in on the next show.
We have small business mentors. Just saying.
So what kind of feedback are you getting from the mentors? What kind of feedback are you getting? Obviously, you're getting a lot of positive feedback here. What kind of feedback are you getting from the alumni and from the mentors as well about this overall experience?
Yeah, so we actually did a survey to wrap up the year, so we can speak on this, and it's not from us; it's actually from nearly 18,000 of those that came through. Let us know, how their mentor was most valuable for their journey. Number one, resume and interview prep. off the top, like nearly 70% said, man, my mentor helped. A lot of our mentors, you got to realize, are on the other side of the hiring table, right? So they've been, golly, my mentors interviewed thousands. So she knew how to help me stand out as a candidate. And that's exactly what these mentors can do. Also, when you talk about work-life balance, 44% said their mentor helped them to figure that out for the next chapter. 44%, it was that work-life balance. And, we even had some that had been out 10 or 12 years. A recent Marine, he had been out over 10 years. And he's so frustrated. He came to us. He said, hey, I'm frustrated. I'm not getting this promotion. I'm not breaking through. What's the deal? Stagnant in their career, 24%. Mentor helps them level up or even pivoting, but level up. And I will tell you that Marine got his promotion.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. I had a thought and then I lost it. Is anybody seated around here somewhere?
You should have tied that down, buddy. That's where tied out.
I should have dummy corded it. The mentor experience, it sounds absolutely fantastic. Oh, now I remember my thought. I really should have better notes when I prep these shows, Eric. The resume, you can pay someone to write a resume. Your cover letter, you can pay somebody to write your cover letter. All right. Nobody can do the interview for you. And I think that's it's huge to hear that the mentors are doing the interview prep, because there's no way to fake it. You can pay someone downtown Columbus to shine your boots. Eric's old enough to remember that. You drop your boots off at the boot shop, drop your uniform off at the uniform shop, go to the barber shop. Eric used to go to the barber shop. Go to the barber shop. Somebody else is squaring you away literally from top to bottom. But when it comes time for the promotion board, you are on your own.
Yep.
So if you haven't done the prep, you're out. So it's great, really great to hear that the mentor is a part of that.
Yeah, it's one thing to get that civilian needs on paper. It's another thing to learn it and to be able to speak it, right? To be able to read a room, to be able to speak it, to be eloquent in describing yourself and your experience in a way that they understand, in a language that they understand.
Yeah, absolutely. But I tell you what, I wish we could go on for another half hour. We just don't have it. I need to hear from each of you. Unscripted question, 30 seconds or less. You've got one piece of advice to give, just one piece of advice to give somebody about mentorship. You got 30 seconds. The clock is ticking. Leslie, you go first.
What do you got to lose? What do you have to lose? This is somebody that is completely vested, interested in your success, in your journey. So it's free. I can only tell you what it did for me and my family. I had student loans. I hadn't even started touching it. I was robbing Peter to pay Paul, and it was 67% increase in pay. That was instrumental for my family. So I would say the other thing I would say is that you get out of it what you put into it. So just know it's what Tim Cochran likes to say is a 60-60 proposition. You put in 60%, the mentor puts in 60%, and then we get to view the success of it.
Absolutely. Eric, you're in the chute.
Man, piece of advice, give yourself permission to not have all the answers. I think that's the thing I took the most away from my transition. It's one thing to say I don't know, but that feels really defeatist to me, right? That feels like I just kind of failed. And I listen, man, in life, I never lose. I either win or I learn, right? That's my motto, right? So I don't like losing. I'm not going to fail. But if I give myself permission to not know, if I look myself in the mirror and be like, Eric, you've never done this before. You've never done this before. You have to be able to say, I don't know. You have to be able to say, and it's okay to say, I don't know. But if I'm going to invest, if I'm going to bank on something, it's going to be, I'm going to invest in me, because I'm invested in my family. I'm invested in my children. I'm invested in my longevity. I'm invested in our happiness. And so if I'm going to admit I don't know, then I have to be willing to invest. And Leslie said it perfectly. What do you got to lose? Invest in yourself. Take the moment to give yourself permission to not know. Invest in yourself and sit down with somebody that can pour into you and bring nothing to the table. Bring nothing to the table.
I have nothing to add. I couldn't have said it any better myself. Leslie, Eric, you've hit all the high points. For the folks out there, you've heard it from two experts. Getting a mentor, helping you prep for interviews, helping you negotiate salary, helping you put together a resume that actually works, refine your LinkedIn profile, get the feedback. And hopefully, if you're a little off the track, a mentor can get you back on track. It's fantastic having had you on the show, folks. Leslie, Eric, love it. I could go on for another half an hour if we had the time.
It's too much fun. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. We appreciate it.
All right. And folks out there in LinkedIn land and on Facebook, if you haven't already done so, you see that link that's going by at the bottom of the screen. Hit the link, rmvets.com/live. It'll take you to our website. We have over 400,000 job opportunities for more than 16,000 employers around the world and around the corner. You'll find information about our job fairs monthly, nationwide, virtual, in person, and a library of content all designed to help veterans, transitioning service members, and mill spouses find meaningful employment opportunities. Get out there, find a mentor. You will reap the benefits and you will not regret it. As Leslie said, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. On behalf of Recruit Military and the folks that joined us today online, Eric, thanks for being here. Leslie, you've made it the best half hour of my day.
And I will see you all live next week.
Yeah. If you're going to the Fort Benning event, come see me. I'll be set up.
Awesome. And be sure, folks, to tune in. If you like this show, guess what? We've got a twofer this week. We got another one on Friday. We're going to be interviewing PhD candidate Emily Knitter. She is a combat veteran and a PhD candidate. She's in the midst of a multi-year project studying the stress associated with transition from military to civilian life. I bet having a good mentor can help alleviate a little bit of that stress. Don't miss the show. Thank you again, American Corporate Partners, for being in with us, Leslie and Eric, and for all of you out there in internet land. This has been Lucas Connolly for Recruit Military Live. Until next time, good luck and Godspeed.